This seminar really should be the psychology of the high performer. Because it's the psychology. If you don't get your head screwed on straight, and most of the kids that see everything's free on my site can't get the psychology right. Because the steps are bloody easy. When our 12-year-old daughter, who's now 32, went through the seminar 20 years ago, she said, "This is easy peasy, Daddy. Why is it so hard for everybody? This is easy peasy, Daddy. Why is it so hard for everybody?" And I said, "Honey, because you have self-esteem and they don't. Simple." I said, "You and your brother are going to crush it when you get out in the real world." And guess what? They're fucking crushing it. I didn't tell them, or we didn't tell them growing up, do your best. You have to do what's necessary, as Churchill said. QLA for Dummies. I'm not going to go there already. But we have a success, optimism, pessimism, snowflake, super success test. I can tell within 95% accuracy who's going to make it and who's not. Actually, it's 99%, but my lawyers tell me I can't say 99 because I'll get sued. But I'm telling you off the record, it's 99% accuracy. If there's any chance that you can make it. Create generational wealth. You take those fucking tests, I know exactly where you've been and more importantly, where the fuck you're going. Extinction learning, overcoming fear by positive experiences. One of the things we have the kids do is scare themselves every day. Do something. Now I'm going to give you two crazy examples. We've had a guy lie naked on Madison and 54th Street in New York City in the intersection. Didn't even get arrested in New York City. We've had a guy go into Starbucks, Chicago, wearing a diaper. He got arrested. In New York City, I have seen naked people in New York City before on the streets. But that's why the kids jump out of planes. That's why they do a lot of crazy stuff to put themselves out of their comfort zone. Remember, the goal for QLA is you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. What gets measured gets better. It's accountability. Now, unless you're caught fucking a donkey in the lobby, you can't get fired from work. It's impossible. Where have we gone? True self-esteem has to be earned. But nobody's measuring you. Nobody's holding you accountable. Now, quantum leap is now used in our language. When I started it, it wasn't. It wasn't. Now, the economists, I think that is, it's part of our life. Now, I'm up here not because of these presidents I've met. 5. I'm not up here because of the secretaries of state I've met. 5. I'm not up here because of the prime ministers, secretary general of NATO, governors, senators, ambassadors, generals, and admirals. I'm not up here for any of those. I'm up here because I drug meatheads like you across the fucking goal line. Now, the beginning of my quantum leap, which is an interesting story, I go into the officers club. I just won an award. That award, I had come up with, and I don't know how I did it because I wasn't computer literate at all. I knew what Fortran language was though. And I came up with a way that the United States Army, Europe, NATO saved $3 million over 5 years. And I got an award. That's a $50 war bond. Worth $6.75 when they gave it to me. But if I kept it 30 years, it's worth $50. Big deal, right? So I'm in the officers club, and I'm standing next to that general, General Vaughn, and another general. And General Vaughn says, Danny, you should buy the drinks. You just won the award. I says, General, $6 is, even though drinks are only 25, 35 cents, it's not going to get us too drunk. And then he said the magic words to me. He says, young man, if you were a civilian in the civilian world, you probably could make a lot of money and get rich. A fucking light bulb went off over my head. Because I was a regular Army officer. I was going to be there for life. I loved it. 6 months later, I'm out of the Army. 6 months later, and the rest is history. The rest is history. So that was the beginning. My first quantum leap was to become an officer. When you become an officer in the United States, Congress, by an act of Congress, makes you an officer and a gentleman. I've been called a lot of things in my life, but never a gentleman. Never. And you can attest, that can be attested to by all the girls that I went out with. Danny didn't know what no meant. And one of the things you learn in the Spock book is knowing, K-N-O-W, when to say no. And they tell you to raise your kids. Just think, for those of you that are parents, if you raise your kid never using the word no, N-O, it's almost impossible. But I was raised without that word in my mother's vocabulary. And the girls that I used to date later on said, you can really believe that Dan doesn't understand what no means. They were talking about something else, but. From a bar, a bad boy. That's my best look at trying to be a East LA cholo in front of where my house used to be. And you can tell from the chain link fence to the brick wall was where my house, it got torn down because it turned into a crack house. To me being an officer. And then the Queen, in her infinite wisdom, anointed me. Now, we live in a great world, some of us, not all of us. United States, China is the second biggest economy. It just had a down year last year. Japan, Germany, India. But it doesn't matter where you live. QLA works every place. And when the next retracement of the market, we're in the 11th year of the 10th month of a bull market, it's going to change. My judgment, the market's going to retrace 40 to 60%. And all your little pennies are going to evaporate, and I'm going to laugh my ass off. All your little retirement plans are going to go down the shitter, and I'm going to laugh my ass off. Because it didn't have to be that way. Not because I read 700 books. It's now 2,700 deals. But I keep the analogy, 700 books to 700 deals. Who would you rather listen to? Somebody that's read 700 books or done 700 deals? It's obvious. Again, success leaves clues. The reason why you stay at your job at wherever you are, up to 90% of startups fail the first year, and you know it. And you don't want to be one of the statistics. But look at Jeff in 1999. They all said he was crazy. Crazy like a fucking fox. 1999. Being honest may not get you many friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. Old man Warren, who's not going to be here forever also, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic. True power is a restraint. And if words control you, that means everyone else can control you. And that's where we are today. And that's why kids are committing suicide because of Facebook. The first method of estimating the intelligence of a ruler is who he's got around him. We are the average of the 5 people you hang with, you chill with. If I were to judge you by the 5 people that you are exposed to most, I wouldn't think much of you. Success leaves clues. Andrew Carnegie, hard as fucking nails. Henry Ford, harder than fucking nails. John Davison Rockefeller, hard as nails. Steve Jobs, who I knew back in the day, hard as fucking nails. Apple CEO gets up at 4:30 in the morning, has calls, sends emails, and expects responses. Hard as fucking nails. Amazon, 80 hours to keep your job a week, 85 hours to be considered for promotion, 90 hours to possibly be promoted. And it's not forced by the company, it's forced by the employees. Hard as fucking nails. This is why I got banned from Facebook, I believe. I posted this about 8 months ago, and I'm no longer on Facebook. You can be unethical and still be legal. That's the way I live my life. In Vanity Fair, May of 2019. Am I the only one that read that? Why doesn't anybody else post it? Because they don't want to be banned by Facebook. I don't give a fuck. Elon Musk, hard as fucking nails. Workaholic. Elon, after Vance noted that only hundreds of people were working at Tesla's headquarters on a Saturday. Only hundreds. No, everybody knows that, okay. SpaceX worker, a notorious workaholic, Elon Musk, is so tied to the office that he's been known to sleep on the floor. I slept in my office the first 10 years. Sir Richard Branson slept in his office the first 10 so years. Bill Gates slept in his office first 10 or 15 years. What about you? My mentality is that of a samurai. I would rather commit seppuku, that means suicide, than fail. He would rather kill himself than fail. All night, no friends, blah, 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 same thing. Jack Ma, Alibaba fame. Nobody talks about his 996 program. Come to work at 9, work till 9, 6 days a week. He's a fucking slave driver! Bill and Elon, they share one trait. They keep their diaries in 5-minute increments. Most of us, myself included, can't even say hello in 5 minutes. That means they have 12 appointments an hour. And QLA is not just for making money, although there's no better program. This kid came to me 3 or 4 years ago, wanted to win the British Archery Championship. 18 months later, he went from firing 500 arrows a day to 2,000 arrows a day. He won University Championship 2017. And it's even better for you lard-ass girls. I chop fat off your big fat ass like a chainsaw. Boom! She's a professor at Columbia University. Boom! Boom! I mean, just slabs of that fat fall off. Yes, partially you're here because I took $820 and turned it into $450 million, which in today's dollars is about $890 million. But it grew 55 million%. In the history of commerce, nobody has grown more than 55 million%. And I am, or was, the $50 billion man. I have teenage multimillionaires to the largest deal in recorded history, $500 billion, Neom, city of the future in Saudi Arabia. There's Josh flipping around in his jet. And these are other teenage multimillionaires. But you probably know their names better than I. But more importantly, this is Josh's dream house. When he's 17 years old, he brought me this. 17 fucking years old, and he wants to live in this. Other kids making movies. Those girls are, one of them is my mentee. I'll let you guess which one it is. But that's Woz of Wozniak fame, Apple. And his mentor is Mike Ducey, my mentee. Takes no prisoners and uses all leverage, jobs. That's the $500 billion deal being signed. 775. Fortunately for me, there's no compression algorithm for experience. And now I'll turn it over to my Q&A.